Hey YouTube, I'm back with another video. Um, Let me say this before I start. Thumbs up or subscribe. But I'm said I'm gonna try to be a little bit more consistent with making videos, not waiting months or years. And I want to say happy Juneteenth. Juneteenth was on this past Thursday, June 19th, and it is Saturday. I'm just now getting back from a stepper set, and we were celebrating Juneteenth in our African gear. So I got my little African top on, and I did a little head wrap in celebration of my ancestry, even though um, my original ancestors, a lot of us here in America, our original ancestors were from Israel or that part of the land. And, well, we were ran out of the land. Oh my God, and I think that was, I want to say that was 770. I'm not quite sure. You know what? I'm sorry. I can't remember when Titus, the emperor, ran our people out. 70 AD. Thank you. Okay. All right. So 70 AD is when we were ran out of Israel and they burned Israel down. Titus, the emperor Titus, and his men. And we ended up running to different areas of Africa. We sort of ran downward because, we were in the northern part of Africa. That's where we are originally from. The African Americans, or now they're calling us FBAs, I think it's foundationally or foundation Black Americans or Black Americans. Okay, so I'm confused with all these names because we've gone from black to, well, we've gone from Negro to nigger to black to African American. Now we're back to, or no, we're not back to. I think some call us. There's another name I can't remember. Oh, I'm sorry. But now this FBA and BAs, Foundational Black Americans, and now Black Americans. So I don't know what we are or what we are supposed to call ourselves. All I know is I am a Hebrew Israelite. When it all comes down to, I'm a Hebrew Israelite, okay, who is here in America trying to make it day by day, but proud of who I am and proud that I am a child of God, of Yahweh. But I have to say, you guys, I'm so proud of my people. I really am. I'm so proud of us because we are holding tight. We are not letting people get away with a lot of the things that we used to allow them to. We used to get mistreated and we would, just take it and accept it. And I think we did that because that's what the old schoolers used to do. And it's not that they wanted to, it's just that's how society was made up where, you had to just either keep your mouth shut, try to get along, as best you can in the situation, wherever. But these young people, and I think I'm not going to sit here and lie, God is working, Yahweh is working. There's a shift. So I can't just say it's the young people, but I'm going to say they started it, okay? The young people, they're just like not going to deal with what we used to deal with. And, you can, You can go through YouTube and you'll see a lot of these Karen videos, how a Karen would act up. And it used to be if the Karen would do this or the guys would do that. I'm talking about Caucasians. And then, the black person would just be like, okay, and try to be nice. I mean, we're always trying to take the high road, like Michelle Obama suggested. And the high road, sometimes it just doesn't work. So these younger black people, these younger African American people, they're not dealing with a lot of stuff like we used to. I mean, they're not allowing people to get into their space and mistreat them, belittle them, humiliate them, embarrass them, to crap on them. And it's amazing. But now, since Rump has gotten into office, I don't know if that's the best thing that could have happened to us. I mean, he's not doing good things at all for us. But one thing, he has brought us together. He has brought us together as a whole. Now, don't get me wrong. We still got issues with each other, I mean, I was looking at some people yesterday and saying, oh my God, come on, get it together, okay? But all in all, we're taking a pride in ourselves that I don't think we ever took before. I don't know. I guess that's the only way I can say it. We're starting to feel good about who we are when we've always felt so bad about who we were or are. I don't know. There's a shift, you guys. It's a shift. And it's beautiful. I mean, I know I keep saying they're coming after us, and they are. They want us out there in the streets. And if we can stay out of the streets, good. But they're going to try to get us out there. And I'm so afraid of what they're going to do to get us out there. So I've been praying. I'm going to ask anybody who's looking at this video to pray also. Pray for our people. Pray for the protection of our people. Pray that God, Yahweh, surrounds us with his protection, with his loving arms, and he keeps us out of harm's way. All right, so got all that out the way. So I said I was going to come back and talk about the covering of the head. So the information I have might be a little outdated, but I mean, I've been reading stuff up to this morning of what people are doing. So even though we as a whole, Black people, African Americans, FBAs, I forgot when I was talking about all the names that we went through. I forgot colored. I'm sorry, colored. Anyway, there's something going on, and I don't know what has caused it. I don't know if Trump coming into the office and with his spirit, or I know a few years ago they were talking about CERN, real big, CERN in Switzerland, how they were trying to get this. I think it's like uh, I can't remember what they call it, a colander or something like that. I can't remember. I'm sorry, but they were saying that it was opening up the door for spiritual entities and not the good ones. Um, Even, a few years ago, Congress had a witch, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it was a witch, praying in the Capitol. So I don't know, but a door has been opened for these entities to come into the earth plane. And I don't know when it started, but I do know that um, years ago, I would say maybe, I want to say 2018, probably 2018, is when the Spirit spoke to me and told me start covering your head. And as I explained in the previous video, and it was almost like I can't say, I understood what it was saying, but I can't say how it said it. But I understood that it was saying that there's spirits out there. That's the way I understood it. There's spirits out there, and these spirits are landing on people's heads. And if it lands on your head, it can take control of maybe your thoughts and maybe your actions. So I've been covering my head, and every blue moon I'll go out without my head being covered. And I'm just like, oh God, protect my head, protect my head, protect my head. But let me talk to you a little bit about some of the things that I believe if we're not covered, and even if it's just being covered with the Holy Spirit, I took it physical. Cover your head physical with something like a cap or a hood, or a scarf, or, or something. Put something, a handkerchief even, they used to walk around with handkerchiefs on their heads. But put something on the head. That's what I got. But I don't know. It could be just a spiritual covering as well. But, it talked about how these entities, these spirits, can cause you to do things. So I remember, and this was maybe about a couple months ago, so I said this information is a little old and outdated, but on one of the airlines, they said that a woman got completely nude and she pooped in her seat. Now, I know they want to say a lot of these people are, something's wrong with them mentally. I am a mental health clinician, and I'm not going to discount that. But a lot of the things that are going on are beyond mental health. I think it's spiritual. And I could only think that even if this person, she did have mental health problems, she's being controlled by a demon. Because how do you get nude on an airplane and poop in the seat? And I'm almost sure that she had, people who were in the seats with her. I don't know if it was a 2-seater or a 3-seater, how they got the seats. But all in all, that's um there was something I read on this guy. And this was about a month ago. And this guy, he killed his wife because he wanted a boy and he found out she was pregnant with a girl. There's been something going on with these young men who are killing their babies. And these are their children. They're taking things to the baby's head. And you know, that's the most sensitive part of the baby, the cranial, the up at the top of the head part. And it's very delicate, especially, you know, after the birth. And these young guys, and they're in their 20s, they're hitting the babies on the head, and one guy's kicking. I don't know if I should say these people's names or not. I really don't know. But I said, I think these people need to be put on blast because they're not, see, I come from a time when you used to be humiliated. And when you were humiliated, nobody wanted to be embarrassed. So you were always on your best behavior. But how can these people just go and kill a baby, kick a baby, hit the baby, murdering their children, their own child, their own blood? And it's just, you know, and you look at the pictures that, you know, I guess they're, you know, they'll take a picture at the, you know, police station, and a lot of them are dead in the eyes. It's almost as if they're not alive. But I think these demonic spirits, they jump. They jump. So people, be careful. I would say cover up your heads or just be prayerful. Make sure that you're praying each and every day, building up a relationship with Yahweh, with God. I can't say I'm 100%, but I'm a work, as they say, in progress. Cover up your heads, you guys. Read your word. You know, it's not the easiest thing to do to read that Bible. I'll be the first to say that. It's not. But it's the living word. It is food for our souls. And that's our way of getting to know God besides prayer. I think that's about it. I'm going to start trying to come back with more stories. And I think I'm going to include the people's names, because these people need to be put on blast when they do something that's so horrific. And especially us, our people. I really need to be put on blast. These black women, young ladies, when they're mistreating them. Oh, yeah, I forgot. There was a young lady, but I think she was African, you know. And she said she couldn't take it anymore. She was just beating her daughter with a hammer. And her other child tried to step in to stop her. And she was hollering at the child, "No, let me go. I want to finish her off." Oh my gosh. She wants to finish her child off with a hammer. And then she says, I was just overwhelmed. I don't know. I was overwhelmed. So I think I'm going to start coming back and putting these people on blast. And I have to pray that Yahweh, that He gives me the strength to be able to do these stories, because I don't want this stuff seeping into my spirit. But these people need to know. And if I find something that's delightful, that's good, I'll share it. But we need to know the evil that is out there, because it's out there. And see, what we're failing to do now is we're failing to call sin a sin. We are letting people get away with so much, and we're not saying what it is. It is a sin to kill. It is a sin to take a life unless it's self-defense. We need to start calling people out for what they're doing. And if it's a sin, it's a sin. There's a church 2819, and I believe the minister's name is Philip Anthony. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's his name. And he had something in one of his sermons, hate sin. Hate sin. Philip Anthony Mitchell, I believe that's his name. And we need to get back to hating sin. Because God hates it. So, I'm going to say thank you for taking out the time listening to me. And again, my channel is Just Talking, and I'm just talking. But like I said, I'll try to come back a little more and come up with, some extra stories. Okay? All right. Peace. Shalom.